We're going to focus on the last 2.5 months or so since kind of the industry was turned on its head. So I'm going to run down some 6 bullet points here, my state of the industry, what I'm seeing. Definitely the speakers throughout this week will touch on these as well. The first one is a focus on community. So strong communities are a lifeline. I was actually just talking with Frederick Court from Felix Capital this morning, who was sharing really the importance of community and really the benefit that brands have who already built a community going into this. The fact that there's more engagement now, the fact that that high engagement is leading to transactions right now. So it's kind of a domino effect. If you have that community, you really don't have to do the work now, although you can use this opportunity to build a community because definitely more folks, more consumers are at the ready to provide their feedback and to get in the mix and offer up their feedback about what they want to see from your brand in terms of marketing and in terms of products. So now is the time, it's not too late. Second of all, increasingly brands' reason for being is being challenged. So again, it depends on the brand. For some, it's temporary. As we start to see the new norm and how new the new norm truly is, we'll see this more depending on, again, how new. So brands that focus on maybe formal wear or focus on wedding attire, this is a temporary shift. Maybe they're just biding their time. They're hoping that they can come out at the end, so they can survive and make it to the end. Others like workwear brands, this is more of a permanent shift. They're going to either have to change gears altogether as work from home becomes a long time thing, or they're going to suffer the fate of some of the brands that we've seen already throughout this whole pandemic in the last 2 months. Digital acceleration is threatening fashion's landscape. This is a really broad statement. It covers the fashion capitals. For instance, in New York, is that still going to be the fashion capital of the US as the talent pool intersperses throughout the country? So that landscape will change, but also, of course, the physical retail landscape. As shopping moves to e-commerce, stores, even entire malls, they're becoming distribution centers. They're becoming, some of them are becoming co-working spaces. So those spaces, physical retail as we knew it, is definitely changing. Streamlined processes are forcing a more sustainable industry. So sustainability has been a goal for many brands for a very long time. Some have proven more effective than others. So brands right now are finding that they've produced way too much inventory as a practice. So they're pulling back. They're finding out how wasteful that is, not only how wasteful that is in terms of the investment, but also how wasteful it is when they have this inventory sitting there with nowhere to put it. So a lot of them are moving to online manufacturing, but they're also streamlining the production process, producing less, eliminating any waste that may be. So that is a win-win for the environment and for fashion, which has such a bad reputation for being so wasteful. The traditional fashion system is crumbling. That means that's another broad statement. So that includes the seasonal fashion calendar, that includes seasonal collections. Big brands, influential brands are increasingly, as days go on, more. Gucci was the latest, I think, to announce that they're not going to follow a calendar. They're not going to have seasonal collections. They're going to produce maybe 2 collections a year, but it's according to their creative process. They're not going to abide by anybody else's rules but their own. That will have a huge impact on trade shows, fashion weeks, again, how department stores have traditionally operated. Brands are going to do what feels right for them, how they can survive, what speaks to their own community, their own customer. And last but not least, and then I will get to those speakers, profitability is on a pedestal. So much for growth at all costs. Brands are finding that profitability over revenue, prioritizing profitability over revenue is the key to stability. They're switching gears accordingly. They're switching their fundraising process accordingly.